Alright, I want to take a look at this Rowenta. It's a handheld steamer. It's their number DR8050. Now I've had this for over a year, as I bought this in January of 2019. And I've had no issues with it. I bought this at a Meijer store. Now at the time I paid $69.99. I know you can get them elsewhere cheaper. Now here's information as per their website. 1500 watts. That's the steam output. Whatever, I'm not sure how that's rated. The cord is very long. It says 3 meters. It's a very substantially, a nice long cord. And the only accessory you get is a fabric brush. Alright, so it does have a lock on the handle to lock the steamer on and off. It's got a metal head on it, and it's ready in 45 seconds, which I've timed, and it does get ready. It's very quick, 45 seconds. And it has a counter rest on it that you can use. It does come with the one accessory brush, and it's 1500 watts. It's got the on-off button. It's got a removable water tank, which is 6.76 ounces or 200 milliliters. It's got a very long cord, 9.84 feet. Very generous cord. And it's got a nice standing base. Alright, so let's look at a few things. I'll start off with the accessory brush that fits on the front. Okay. And the way that would work is it's snap on just like that. Okay, now your switch is right here, and if you want to turn that on and lock it, it's also lockable. It's got the little gray button here. You push down and forward, and it's actually very easy when you're doing it. You just push in and push down, and it's locked on. Sometimes you have to be careful. I find that you have to be careful. Sometimes you can accidentally lock that on, and you may not want to do that. Now here's your water tank, and to remove it, you've got the latch right here. You push up on it, and you pull it out. And here's the tank removed. As you can see on the front, there's pins on the front side of the unit here that go in here that extract the water out. And to refill the water, you pull this little, I believe it's a silicone material, and you refill it here. Now that is a little bit tricky because that's not very big, but you get good at doing it. And it's not that hard. It might be a little tricky the first couple times you do it. And you can see it is clear. You can see through it to see what the level is. Now, while we're on the issue of water, I always like to call companies and ask questions sometimes on certain things. And one of them was water. I have soft water. I have well water. And the drinking water would be hard. The water, and I also have soft water coming into the kitchen, so I have hard and soft. So I have a combination of either or, either for drinking or the softened water. So I called Rowenta and inquired. I said, hey, what is the best kind of water to use? Here's what they told me. They said the best water to use would be spring water that you can buy at a store. If it says spring water, that's good. They said do not use reverse osmosis or distilled water, because that's what I was going to use, figuring that would be the best. You know, wouldn't have any minerals, or, you know, wouldn't have anything adverse that could plug the unit up over time. And they said that spring water, simple spring water here, has a mineral consistency to it, whereas your reverse osmosis and distilled water has minerals added, and it's not always consistent. So, you know, this is a gallon I bought at Myers, and it's like, I don't know, 80 cents a gallon. And so that's what I use. Alright, so I'm going to try to fill this. I'm going to put a little bit more in here, so when I do my demonstration. So I just pull this back, and what I do is from the gallon here, I'll just pour some in. Well, I got a little bit too much in there, so I find that doesn't hurt anything. I should have been watching. I'm looking at my viewfinder, and so not a big deal. This will be fine. Alright, so I'll take the tank, push it in just like that. It's ready to go. So now we're going to turn this thing on. Just push the button in. You'll see that it flashes. When it's done flashing, it's ready to put out steam. And it does it in 45 seconds. In fact, I'll keep it like that so you can see it. There it is. It's ready to go. I'll push the button in. Now that water's coming out because I overfilled it. I shouldn't have done that. So that'll be a lesson to you. It doesn't do that normally. But again, I overfilled it. Now this does get real hot, so you want to watch your hands or anything else, any surfaces that you may not want to get real hot here, because that's really hot right there. I mean, you really, yeah, that's extremely hot, extremely warm. Another item that this book does mention talks about descaling. Now, I do this more as a preventative, you know, no different than, you know, changing the oil in your car. You just don't leave it and leave it. You change it at recommended intervals. But it'll tell you to take the water tank, empty it of regular water, put 50% water and 50% white vinegar, and then you turn the unit on. Once you have the reservoir tank full, put it back into the appliance, turn it on. After your 45 seconds, it's ready to go. Turn the trigger on, lock it off, and let the entire contents of the steam empty. And then once that empty, you've done that process. So I just hang these up on a door, and here's a t-shirt. We'll see what this does. That's just the way it's hanging there. And you can see it's here. You see a white shirt, and I've put the brush head on it. And then we're going to do this area right down here. Like I said, I'm behind the camera here, so it's a little bit harder to do. You know, I'm not in front of it, but where I'm normally, but we'll go ahead and do this. All right, let's look at this sleeve right here. And let's look at these pants. Now this is a safety vest. It's a brand new one that I had laying around, and I just thought, well, let's just see what it'll do to this. Not that I would ever waste my time on this, but just for demonstration purposes. Now in closing, I do like using the brush attachment because it does give you some kind of control, especially on clothes like this. It allows you to pull down on the garment as you're bringing it down. You can brush down on the garment, and then, you know, always pulling whatever it takes, pulling it away, you know, and pulling down. So I use this attachment all the time. Okay guys, one other thing I thought I'd mention is when I'm done with this unit, if there's any water in it like you see here, I'll take and pour it back into the gallon jug. Perfectly fine to do. They do recommend that you don't leave this in this tank for any long periods of time.